Well, good morning and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. In today's video, I want to show you my updated version of Roxy Creations Down the Garden Path. But first, I want to mention that how grateful I am for all my subscribers. I recently looked at my YouTube subscriber list, and the amount of people from all over the world amazes me. I was able to see I have subscribers in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, France, Spain, the Netherlands, India, South Africa, Argentina, New Zealand, Russia, Poland, Switzerland, Brazil, Ireland, Japan, and Sweden. And I know sometimes maybe people in some of those countries don't speak English, but they're still watching my videos. And so I just wanted to mention that I appreciate each and every one of you. So, in my first video of Roxy's Creations, I showed you my house, my clothesline, some of my stitching there, flowers. The first prompt was wildflowers. The next prompt was a garden gate. I showed you that. I still am debating on doing some more with that gate. I think it needs a little bit more. But then now I sewed on my title, Down the Garden Path, and I just did a straight stitch there. I shortened my grass because it looked like it needed to be mowed. It was quite long, and I may even put more grass in there. And then I want to transition into some other steps here. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these this big or cut them down. But anyway, that is what I've done that far. The next prompt was a vegetable garden, and I think a scarecrow. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a scarecrow, but this is the start of my vegetable garden. And what I will probably do is cut and sew it in different spots there. But what I did is, and I want to show you how you can also do some of this. So I'm going to zoom you in. Okay. And what I did is I just took a piece of fabric, and I know many of you have known this because I've told you before. Prior to being a journal maker and sewing and what have you, I also was a card maker, and I had this set of stamps, and there was this little stamp here which had vegetables on it, and I just stamped rows of that for these first three vegetables: the radishes, the carrots, and the turnips. And you can see I've left them because I'm going to show you how I did those. Then for the cauliflower, I kind of just did a Pinterest post, kind of searched that out and realized I could do that with some French knots and some bullion stitches. And then this was from an Instagram post, and I might even go ahead and stamp in some areas on my roll there, maybe this sign, and put in, my name and the year. I don't know, but anyway, that's how you can get an image on your fabric. And then if you look real close, even though I used an ink, a Stampin' Up! Ink, I used gray granite, which is a really light gray. you can't even see it there. And then to make my rows for my corn, I used Frixion pen, which is erasable. And I will try to remember to link these down in the description box. So if you don't have those, you can. They come in many different colors, so they're fantastic. So for my radishes, I used, and for most of this, I used just a DMC. So for my radish, all I did was just some straight stitches back and forth. Boy, that's short. I don't have much thread there. I have been watching a gal by the name of Sonia. And again, I'll try to link her channel. I need to be writing this stuff down. But she is absolutely fantastic. Okay, I was able to get my ring light in there, so I think I can finish doing this. So what I did is just a small straight stitch all the way across. And then do you know how sometimes radishes have just that little bit of white space there? So all I'm doing is taking this very, very thin Egyptian cotton. Well, you can't even see it, sorry, because it's so magnified in on my phone. But I'm using it. It's very, very thin. And I'm just going to put a few stitches here to represent that kind of white area of a radish. So I guess I'm going to have some time for chit-chatting. Oh, the other thing I did is I went and cut my fingernails and I put some lotion on. I'm so sorry that my nails are not that nice. You know, I mentioned this probably about in every single video that I'm a nurse. And so we're not supposed to have acrylic nails or any kind of those things on our nails because of infection control. And then I also like to keep them very short. So my nails are just, and actually my whole hand, they're not that pretty because I am crafting, I'm painting, I'm using glue. Now here I'm sowing these vegetables, but I always plant a vegetable garden every single year. And as a matter of fact, here in Arizona, in the USA, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of the video how many subscribers I have from all over the world, that here in Arizona, our last frost is usually February the 15th. So after February the 15th, we go ahead and put in our vegetable gardens because by the time June hits, it is so hot that our gardens are kind of, you know, starting to get kind of puny. And just go here like there, sorry. It's so hard to see. It's such a tiny, I don't know if you guys can see because the camera, you know, if you're watching, especially on a TV, these little radishes are like half of a centimeter. They're tiny, tiny little things. So that's why I'm kind of struggling with this sewing. But anyway, what was I saying about the vegetable garden? Oh, yeah. So by the time June hits, the garden is starting to, you know, look pretty bad. And by July, we're only getting a few things in our garden because it's too hot for like the tomatoes, the blossoms to set. And so they just kind of, wither away. Now, the nice thing is because of our weather, we're able to have 2 growing seasons. Oh, there's 2 little bunnies in my front yard. That's the other thing I'm worried about, these bunnies getting my garden. But we have 2 growing seasons. We have our summer garden and then we have a winter garden. Because like right now, I think the high today is going to be in the 70s Fahrenheit. So our gardens actually do better in the winter than any other time. So I think this radish is looking good. I just need a little bit right in there. But boy, it's hard to get that one little spot. Oh, on the cabbage. Well, you probably don't want to hear this. I'm not going to say it, but I poked myself when I was sowing the cabbage. Had an injury. All right, I think that's good enough for there. And then what I did for the little, things that hang down the roots, I just come up and I do kind of like what you would do for turkey work. So I come up, then I loop my thread around and I don't pull it all the way through. And I do that a couple of times. You see, and then I just hold it in place. Then I come up again. And loop it around. And then go back down. I'm losing my needle here. And then I just leave that there, and then I just anchor it. Down and then tie it off and then snip it. Now, you guys have heard me talk about my hospital potentially closing. We have heard that we have enough money to stay open until April the 15th. So at least until April the 15th, I can be employed. I tell you, it's so sad for those girls that actually live right there in Hollister. I live here in Arizona, and my hospital, for you new people, is in California. And I travel back and forth. But those girls that live right there in that town, that's not going to be easy for them. They're going to have to really commute. And I've just got a little bit more of the red, and I've already got a knot in it because I want to do a couple of loops of the red down here. I might just do one loop here. So if you haven't started this Roxy Creations down the garden path, you should. It's going to last for 6 months. So it's going to be going on for a while, and you've got time to catch up. It's so much fun. But then I like sewing. I really enjoy sewing. I got that caught there, oh shoot. Maybe I can pull that through. No, because then I'm gonna lose, yep. I lost my loop there. I'm gonna have to do it again. I've always liked sewing. I used to make quilts for a while. Have a beautiful sewing machine, a Bernina. But quilts take so much time, and I'm kind of impatient with the time it takes. There, I think that'll be good. Hopefully I can anchor this down now. There, I've got a loop. And then I'm just gonna very gently try to tie this off without pulling that all the way through. Good enough. Good enough. Oh, I have to tell you, I don't think I told you about the scissors debacle. I bought these beautiful embroidery scissors. They're made in Italy. And if you look real close, the tip had to be cut off. And the reason is, I can't believe I did this, but I was watching my grandchildren, and my grandson, Gavin, comes to me, says, "Grandma, my braces are really bothering me. There's a wire sticking, and I'm not in camera. Well, how did that happen? It's cutting up my mouth." So I looked, and sure enough, big old wire was sticking out. And I was at their house. Oh, I think I told you this. I don't know. I can never remember. Anyway, I was at their house, and I couldn't find any wire cutters. So I used these scissors, my good scissors, to cut the wire. And so then when I was using them, they were snagging everything. So then I had a guy come out to sharpen them, and he said, "Well, there's such a big dent in them from what you did that to fix it, I'm going to have to snip off the very top," which is what he did. So, you'd do anything for your grandchildren. So, yeah, this is variegated here. Now for this, all I do is okay, so it's a lazy daisy stitch. So you pull it up, bring your thread around, go back down, and then up. I think this needle is way too big. Come up. And then as you come up, it creates that loop. And then what you're going to do is go back down and anchor it down. Okay, so I finished that off, and then I finished this carrot off, and I didn't film it because it's just stitches back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you know how when you have carrots, sometimes there's a little brown spot from them being in the dirt. I just used this thread, just like a couple of strands of that, and stitched a couple of places in it so it looked like it was dirt, and then just straight stitches in 2 different colors for the carrot top. And then for the turnips, I went ahead and forgot and was just going in a row and was stitching and forgot that I needed to film that. So it's very easy. I'm only, because the turnip is so tiny, I'm only using 1 strand of thread because I'm using 3 different colors, and I'm using the darker one. Make sure I have it right here. Yes, so you guys can see that. I'm having the darker one up at the top, and I'm just doing a couple of little straight across stitches of that. In this really dark purple color. I'm trying to think what else I need to talk to you guys about and tell you about. I'm getting excited for my trip to Singapore and my trip to Italy. I'm going to try to convince Rachel, if you're listening, I'm going to ask you if she would let me interview her like I did Gail. Oh, and that's the other thing. I'm getting to go to Gail's retreat again this year in July. So I've got a lot of traveling coming up. Okay, I think that's good enough for there. Okay, let's tie that off. We'll just slide it underneath there. And then we'll go to the next color. I don't know if you guys have also been watching Corinne. Her YouTube channel is Treasures. Oh, I'll link that one too. I don't know why I can't remember it, but she is doing 4 different Roxy creation down the garden path projects. So make sure you check her channel out. I'll try to remember to link her also. So then I just go to this next color. Now Sonia hopefully is going to start teaching us some ribbon embroidery. I've got lots and lots of silk ribbon that I've purchased, and I tried one time to do some silk embroidery and I messed up the ribbon, and that ribbon is so expensive that I'm like, oh, I need more instruction on how to do that. So I know Sonia did a tutorial on beading a pumpkin for Corinne, because Corinne asked her to do that. And so maybe I'll just message Sonia and say, hey, would you do us some more ribbon embroidery? Teach us that. Because, you know, I'm an okay sewer, but like Corinne and Sonia, They seem to be experts. They really know what they're doing. But you know, we all start at some point as beginners. Okay, let's do the light purple now. And then we'll finish off with the white. And then once again, I just do what you would do for turkey work and come up, loop it around a couple of times, and then trim those so it looks like the roots of the turnip. And so I just trim those at different lengths. Oops. Is this thing moving on me? This lamp and stuff? Okay. And then I just kind of feather that out. I think this one needs to come up a little bit shorter. Okay, so now let's do some French knots. And I've got a little bit thicker white thread. Let me bring it in to you. I think I got this at from Sue Spargo. It is, a Perlé number 8. Just a white. And I like doing French knots. To me, they're easy. So you just come up, and I start by doing two wraps. So you're going to pick up your thread after you bring it through your fabric, wrap it around twice, kind of hold it close, and then go back down close to where you came up. And then you pull your needle through, and that makes a nice little French knot. And so I just keep doing that to make my cauliflower. See that little bit of red there? Okay. Hope that doesn't happen again. Oh shoot, no, you don't want it to go through your knot in the back there. So I got to pull that completely out and start all over. So I'm going to turn off the camera and continue doing these French knots, and then I'll be back with you with the bullion stitch to show you that. So now I finished all of my French knots and I want to do my bullion stitch around it. And what I'm using is this. It's RZM09. I believe I also got this at from Sue Spargo. And it's a very silky kind of thread that makes it easy to pull off the bullion knots. So, and this is a regular size bullion needle. So what you do is you come up at one point next to your French knots. Okay, so you come all the way up. And then you're going to go back down and then up again. And I always look to make sure that I don't have my thread caught in there, and I do. So I'm going to pull that out and then just redo this so I make sure I don't have that thread caught in there. I still do. Oh, that's why. Okay, let's pull that through a little bit better. Okay, we're going to try again. So, in, and then I'm going to try real hard not to catch that knot there, but I think I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so I didn't catch the knot. So what you're going to do is you pull your, I'm going to turn this around because I'm right-handed. So what you're going to do is pull the needle almost to the end there. And then you have your bit that is threaded through the hole. And then you have your other end of the thread, okay? So this one is the one that you threaded through the eye of the needle. This one is the other side. And so what you're going to do is you're going to loop it around however many times the length that this will be. So I'm going to kind of count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to slide it down, kind of look. Okay, it looks like I need more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I did that 10 times, and then we're going to do 2 more. Okay, there's 12. Okay, then I lay it down, and I pick up, I've got one of these little rubber things here. I hold on to the twisty sides. It's also kind of finicky. I hold on to that. Then I take this little rubber thing, which helps you pull your thread through. I grab a hold of my needle and I just pull it through. I keep holding my finger there until I've pulled it almost all the way through. Do you see how that is? And then I pick it up. I finish pulling it through. And do you see how when I pull it all the way through, it gives that beautiful, like that beautiful stitch? So I hold that there kind of tight, and then I go down through the fabric to anchor it down. And then you've got that beautiful stitching around your French knots. So let's do it again. And sometimes what I do is then I come up and I tie it off, because This is very slippery thread, and it's just, oh, it's so slippery. So I'm just going to tie that off. Okay, then it won't slip so much. Okay, so let's do it again. So we're going to come up over on this side here, right there, next to those French knots. Okay, so I came up next to it, all the way through, pull your thread through. Then you're going to go back close to your starting point of that other one. You're going to go in, or you could even go past it a little bit. I'm going to go past it a little bit. So, okay, that's going to be good. I went past it a little bit, and then you're going to come up close to where you had inserted your needle in the beginning. Okay? Look back. Good. I didn't catch any of that. Okay? Then I'm going to push my needle close to the end. Again, you don't want to lose your end thread here. So I pull that up and out of the way. Then I take my other thread here and I start wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it looks like I've got my corn husk thing in the way. No, okay, I got it. Okay, so then I've wrapped my things, and then I'm holding it tight. I grab a hold of my little rubber thing again, and I grab a hold of my needle, because sometimes, especially if you have lotion on your hands, see, I can barely grab that. So I'm going to grab a hold of it with that rubber thing, and when I feel the needle come all the way through, I pull it all the way through. Then I turn it over so that my knots will go in the direction I want them to. And then you see how that just kind of wraps around, and you can make them as long or as short as you want. And so now I'm going to just hold that in place and anchor that down. Okay, that's pretty good there. That's good. Just going to anchor that there. Okay, now let's come up around this side, or we could even go here. Why don't we just go over there, because I need to do that side, because you want a couple of layers. So we're going to come up right about there. Look and make sure I didn't pick up anything on the back. I'm going to come up. Then I turn it so that I can come through, and I want this bullion knot to go over both sides there. So I'm going to go in close to here and then come up next to it. And let's see, where do I want to come up? Right next to that other place, perfect, where I had inserted my needle. So pull it all the way through to the end and start doing your wraps. Now this is a shorter distance, so we probably only need 8. So I'm going to kind of make sure, because I got my little tops of my turnips there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that'll be okay. And then hold it down. Grab a hold of your little gripper thing. Those, I think I bought that when I was a quilter. Okay, so I pulled it. Keep pulling it, keep pulling it, keep pulling it until all your little knots lay nice and smooth. I kind of like that. I think that's going to be okay. And then let's just go down and we'll anchor it. That kind of looks like my my leaves are a little bit cockeyed. Oops, let's see, where am I at? Okay. Now, it looks like I could have gone closer there, but we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Okay, so we're going to do this one here. Come up, good. I didn't catch anything. We're going to make this long because it's got to go all the way around this. So then come up next to where you want it to be, and then through to the other side. Okay, I'm good there. Through to the other side without picking yourself, which I just did. Okay, and I have to do this like this because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to grab my thread. And I'm going to start wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. Let's see. I think that's going to be good. So we did 15 wraps. Oh yeah, that came out nice. That's nice. And you just kind of pull it around to where your cauliflower is, and then anchor it down. Okay, so let's look at all those little cauliflowers. Oh, this is the way they go. And see if we want to add something more. See, this is a line here from that Fisker pin, but I can get rid of that. I think I'm okay. I think I'm good with that. So let's tie that off. I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute while I tie all this off, and then I'll show you how to do the corn, because that was fun to learn. So now I'm going to show you how I do the corn. So what I did is I just took some thread, and this is just the one strand. I don't know what it's called, but sorry. And I drew 3 lines real close together. Now there's one piece of thread there on the right side, okay? There's one thread on the left side, but I stacked 2 on top of each other there because I want this middle part to be thicker so it looks like the corn is rounded. Now I have 8 strands of just a yellow DMC. And I separated the strands. You know how normally when they come, they're all kind of bunched up together. I separated them so that you could see each strand individually. And it's actually pretty easy to do. So you come up on one side, close to the top, and I go down to create the top of the corn. And it takes a little bit to get that through there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my needle again up toward the top, but over a little bit so it's not quite so close to that edge, because I want this to be kind of pointy up there. And then I'm going to go back down about there. Okay. Okay. I may run a little bit, since this is cockeyed. I may run a little bit of thread when I'm done over that area, but I'm just going to bring up one more small stitch here to really make that pointed. And go right down next to it. Okay, that looks good. Then I'm going to come up over here on the side there. And then this is where, like I said, I'm going to take the back of my needle and I'm going to start threading it through. So first of all, we're going to go over the top and under those two, and then over the top of the other one and pull it through. And you're going to bring it up way close. Okay? Now, I'm going to be flipping it back and forth because it's easier for me since I'm right-handed. So now I've got it up close to the top. And now I'm going to go underneath this one and over the 2 middle ones and underneath that one on the other side. And I'm going to pull it through. And what you can do is take your needle and bring that thread up. So it's way close. That's underneath. Now I'm going to go over and under the 2 and then up. It was easier last night when I was doing it. I don't know why I'm struggling today. Maybe if I pull this out a little bit. And maybe not make it quite so tight. maybe the threads will spread out a little bit. See how that one came up so close? That's better, that one. See, that came up much better. I may just have to do a lot of finagling. But anyway, you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Over and under, and just manipulate your threads to bring them up higher. And maybe just some of that corn is just going to show the underneath. Okay, so we're going to go over the top, underneath the two, and then over that last one. Okay, that was a little bit better, I think. Under, over, and under. Yeah, I don't know why that's not doing as well as it did yesterday. Because I really had no problem yesterday, unless I just need to really push that up there. Maybe I need to bring it way, way up to the top when I'm going over those two. I'm going to have crooked corn. I think it's going to be okay. You just have to remember to pull that needle all the way up toward that top of that last row as you thread it through and poke yourself. Oh, shoot. Come on, get up there, giddy up, giddy up. I also was not messing with the camera yesterday, and I was holding it real close to myself. And did I do that right? Yeah. It's starting to look like corn, right? Please tell me it is. Cockeyed corn, but it's looking like corn. And fat corn at that, healthy corn. Oops. Come on over here, doggy. Come on over. Okay, I think we're going to be okay. I keep saying that, don't I? And you use the end of your needle, otherwise you're going to have the chance of splitting your threads with the pointy side of the needle. I think we can go one more over the top and underneath. Yep. We may even be able to go one more to really make that. Okay, I think it's looking okay now. Yeah, let's go one more. I think we can squeeze one more in. So under and over. And I'm going to really have to, yeah, there we go. Really push my needle underneath there. There, I think it's okay. And because I'm going to be putting the stalks down here, it doesn't matter that it's it's not perfect. So now we're going to bring this over the top and tie it in the back. There we go. It's a lot of thread here. Okay, we're good? All righty. I just want to make sure I don't catch my brown thread there. Oops, sorry, I did it again. If I need to, I can just put a little bit of glue there. So what I'm going to do is take my needle now and go over this and pull those middle ones up. So I'm just going to thread it through and kind of push them up so that they're to the front. Just sliding that under. Let's try to bring that one to cover that one up. There we go. All righty. There we go. It came out good. Okay, and then for my husk, I just have the variegated thread, and it's basically just some straight stitches. So I'm coming up at the bottom of a corner, and then I go across there. And then I'm going to come back up next to that and then go back down just to create my stalk. I'm going to want some different lengths, so I need to work on that. And it's nice with this variegated thread because it kind of changes colors. My corn kept getting bigger and bigger. Oh, that's cockeyed. That's not right. This is the center. How'd I do that? Oh, shoot. Well, I got to pull that out for sure. That last one. So I'm going to turn off the camera and fix that because it's way over to, well, I could just, here. I'm just going to make this a big old thick stalk. We'll call it good. That's a big old stalk of corn. That's really goofy. How did I do that? Okay, I'm gonna fix it. Okay, I did fix that. I just made the stalk a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna end the video here because it's already been going on for an hour and 5 minutes. So I will see you guys next Monday. Thanks, bye-bye.